白崎は？
そんな大声出すなよ。
ちょっといるならさっさと返事してくんない？ねえ、ちょっとこっち来て。ねえ、ルミチーから聞いてると思うけど、勉強教えてくんない？
This episode of Love is Indivisible by Twins, I'm always telling you guys, like, I think sometimes, like, it just, you watch something and, like, it just fits your day. You know what I mean? And, like, I had such a fantastic time watching this episode. Today, I watched the likes of Aaliyah, you know, has her feelings in Russian. I watched 𝐒𝐻𝐚𝐧𝐬𝐭. But this one was the best episode I watched today. Honestly, I was laughing a lot this episode. I had a great time watching this episode. The fact that, you know, we had freaking Naori say, you know, Catitafis perialis, you know, the scientific name or whatever for a cat. The funniest moment of the week has to go to June's friend, the professor. So this Amamiya girl comes in. She's like the model, the queen bee, whatever, of the school. She comes in and she was like, where is Shirasaki? Where is Shirasaki? And eventually it ends up being June. And she grabs him by the hand and says, I need you. And the professor's friend, I don't know what his name is, but the other guy, you know, I think he's in the basketball club or something. He comes over and just puts his hand. He just puts his hand on the professor's shoulder, like, it's gonna be all right, brother. And just the way that that scene happened, and if you blinked, you missed it. But that was, I had to hit my space bar. I had to pause the episode. I was dying from laughter. And what's funny about that scene is, like, it's unintentional. Like, it might be intentional, but it's like, it's a very subtle but extremely hilarious, like, portion of the episode, or like little snapshot, or like little 2 seconds, like just like that. It's gonna be all right, bro. As you can see, you can feel that dude's heart and soul just dying inside. He's like, where's my attention? Where's my hero? Where's my ladies? He's like, what the freak? So it was just such an amazing moment. Then you have everything else happening. So this introduces Amamiya. And Amamiya herself is out there, right? She would be like one of those what are the animes that they call it? What are those they call them in? She'd be like a gal, like the like that gal anime, like my girlfriend's a gal or whatever, or Hokkaido gal or something. She'd be like one of those kind of like gal type people, where essentially what that stereotype is, it basically means like the popular girl, like, you know, typically blonde hair, they have their nails painted, maybe they're always smacking bubble gum, they're pretty up and up with fashion and stuff, like kind of like that a little bit. But for her difference is apparently she's like an actual model, and like she's extremely popular, it seems. So that's kind of her thing, is like she's a model, so that's kind of where most of her popularity stems from. But she kind of has like those gal tendencies kind of thing, that she's not very good in school and stuff. So I love that this show's introducing another girl, and the turmoil that it's already kind of introduced, especially with Naori. Oh my god. Like she called her the putty girl, the brain with putty, which is like pudding, the putty brain. Like, it's just the way she said putty. Like, I was just dying, because she's there in the restaurant with the professor. They're talking. He got pinned into the corner, and she's like, tell me about what happened. And he's talking like, oh, you know, June's gonna maybe tutor this Amamiya girl. And she's like, the bitch with the putty braid. And it's just so funny. Like, I was, again, another moment this episode, I was just dying of laughter. Then they go, and they go to this Amamiya girl's house or whatever. And the Amamiya girl apparently has like a side eye on June. Like, she knew who he was already. Like, she's playing, but she knew who he was. But she asked Rumi, like, hey, you know, do you like this Shirasaki guy? And, you know, Rumi's like, no. And she's like, oh, okay, cool. You know, she's like, God, thank you, girl. And I was like, effing Rumi, like, you should have been like, maybe a little bit, you know, just like a little something, you know, because Naori, or not Naori, Amamiya, this new girl, basically asked her friend for permission, which is what you should do, right? Like if you have a friend and they show interest in the same girl or the same boy, like it makes sense to be like, hey brother, like, hey, you know, do you like her or whatever? Like, you know, you want to make sure like, you know, you don't impede on, not only on like impeding on like their vibes or anything, but like maybe like, you know, I like her vibe or I like his vibe or whatever. Like, you want to make sure that, you know, you're doing the right by your friend. Like, you want to be like, hey, like, you know, if it's like a hands off, like, you know, just whatever, like, hey, I'll be cordial, cool, we'll be friends, whatever. But like, I won't even, you know, think about that. So she did what was right, right? She asked Rumi, like, hey, you know, you like her? She's like, no. She's like, oh, okay, bet. And then she goes into like, should I call you Zaki? Should I call you June? Like, whatever. And then he's like, I gotta go. He gets all flustered. And then she cooks a bomb-ass meal. But this Amamiya girl is going to be like a real threat to the twins because, or I mean, in real life, she would be a real threat to the twins. I don't know about this show specifically, but the reason is first off, she has a job. You know, she's a model, but let's just, you know, she has a job. She kind of is already settled with being more mature because she lives by herself. The reason being is her mom is just like a workaholic, so her mom's like non-existent. And she makes good money because she's a model. And the dad's out of the picture. And, you know, a girl, you know, especially when you're a teenager, I think, like, you know, a girl who maybe doesn't have, like, the parents and stuff, like, you can, like, man, it's even kind of messed up to say a little bit. But like, as a man, I think a lot of men out there love being depended on and, like, you know, love being, like, the person to, like, fill a void, you know. And especially if it ends up being that, but for a girl you like, that feels really good as a man, you know what I mean? Like, you kind of like, I think all of us, like all men, like, you know, somewhere deep down, have like a kind of like a hero complex. Like, you want to be like the one to save somebody, like you want to be like to save the day, and it feels good. And I think a lot of men really relish in that. And a girl in her position, right, is somebody who could provide, even maybe June wasn't even ever thinking about that, but someone with her position and, you know, the other stuff she brings to the table, like that could, like in a real life scenario, like that's a threat, you know, in my opinion, at least. So I love that introduced that because I think, you know, if June were to court or be courted or cater to a third party, I think he could legitimately just be friends and be close with the girls. And I think that'd be the best case scenario. But obviously, the show is about the twins. It's about the, you know, the triangle of love there. It's about, you know, either Naori or more than likely Rumi winning June, you know, and that's what the show's about. But if it was like a real life scenario, you know, you can see, you know, this new girl coming out. But regardless, I love that Amamiya has now come in to kind of shake things up a bit. Because I think this episode really, I felt it, and I think it's going to be really interesting, especially because Naori hates her already, and I cannot wait to see what happens next. So, anyways, I'll leave you guys on those thoughts. This episode, best episode of the season so far, in my opinion. Like, I loved it. So, I'll see you guys next week. Peace.